G'day everyone, how's it going? My name's Big Pup, and as promised, I'm bringing you the 100% Shadow Rhyperior video. Now, I did find Shadow Rhyperior to be a very strong Pokemon in the meta. Breaking Swipe and Rock Wrecker is a really great combination of moves. Great coverage, but it does have its vulnerabilities. On a side note, how's everyone going? How's everyone's day going? I've just been pumping out Jujutsu Kaisen, been to the gym. It's so hot in Australia right now, I'm absolutely boiling. I feel like I've got no energy to do anything after all that. But I'm here making a video and I'm pretty excited. These are some really fun battles, so please drop me a like. It helps heaps for the algorithm, and let's hop into it. Right now, unfortunately, we have a Dragonite into a Togekiss. Terrible matchup. Those Charms are absolutely shredding our Dragon Boy. Down goes Dragonite, but we feel pretty comfortable to come in with either Pokemon. We bring in the Rhyperior. They bring in a Groudon, and now we're in a great position. These waterfalls are shredding. Good game to the opponent. Jumping into the next match, we have Dragonite into Lugia. This is a pretty bad matchup, to be honest. Those Dragon Tails are absolutely destroying our Dragonite. Meanwhile, Lugia's bulk is so immense that we're really not doing that much damage. We will shield up here just because we have so much energy, and I don't want to waste it all just by being limited by a Sky Attack. So we're going to throw the first Dragon Claw. Get a shield. Now we're almost at 2 more Dragon Claws, and hopefully we're able to grab another shield. That'll be great. Doesn't quite grab the shield. We get to the 3rd Dragon Claw. Fingers crossed this grabs a shield. Will we get a shield? Unfortunately not. They know Lugia is just a big boy, can take hits like an absolute champion. So we're going to bring in Rhyperior. We know we're going to resist all of the moves except for the fast move, and they bring in a Rayquaza. So we're just going to throw the Breaking Swipe here. We could have full sent the Rock Wrecker and absolutely tried to destroy Rayquaza, but we know they're probably going to shield, and we can reach a second move. In comes the second Breaking Swipe. Unfortunately, it's not a guaranteed debuff as before. I think I mentioned this in my previous video, but if it was a guaranteed debuff plus the boost to Mudslap's damage this season, Rhyperior would have been in such a good position. Anyway, we luckily shield the Dragon Ascent so we can farm the Rayquaza all the way down. Kyogre's got a decent amount of energy. It's the Groudon. They try and catch with the Groudon, but I see that coming. Down goes Lugia. And now we have a couple Surfs to absolutely decimate that Groudon. That'll be a good game to that opponent. In comes the second Surf. And stick a fork in that Groudon because he is done. Good game. Moving things along to the 3rd match, we've got a Dragonite into a Ho-Oh. They quickly switch into a Dialga and we have the perfect counter. Here is a great example of why Shadow Rhyperior, a Hundo might I add, is an absolute monster. You do need to shield the first Iron Head, but we can farm all the way down. In this instance, it looks like I am throwing the Breaking Swipe, but in later matches you'll see that I just do some full farm downs. They come in with Zekrom. That isn't much of a better matchup for them. Our Mudslaps are absolutely slapping the crap out of that Zekrom. I can't get my words out. We reach another Breaking Swipe. That does some devastating damage. Rhyperior pretty much took care of 2 whole Pokemon on its own. They have a Ho-Oh, and we checkmate them. Good game. Heading straight into the 4th match, we have a Dragonite into a Groudon. This is a beautiful matchup. We have the full advantage here. We're really not threatened by Precipice Blades. They retreat into Dialga, and we send in Rhyperior. Rhyperior is an absolute monster against Dialga. Probably the #1 reason why you should run Rhyperior is because of all those Dialgas running around. All you need to do is shield once, and we can farm all the way down, come out with energy, and hopefully we get lucky and we can debuff this Groudon. In comes the first Breaking Swipe. That doesn't get a debuff. We sneak through 1 more Mudslap. We're going to no-shield here, expecting a Fire Punch. We call the Fire Punch. Now we're at 2 more Breaking Swipes, essentially. 1 more Mudslap and we're at 2. Hopefully we get a debuff this time. In comes the Breaking Swipe. We get the debuff. We reach a 3rd Breaking Swipe. So this Groudon is actually absolutely getting dominated by Rhyperior. Down goes Groudon. What do they have in the back? It's a Mewtwo. We immediately switch. We have energy on Dragonite. So Dragonite's going to come in here and clutch this. In comes the first Dragon Claw. That gets the last shield. In comes the second Dragon Claw. We also have a shield in reserve. So we're looking in a very good position here. I think I'll just no-shield this. There's really no need to shield. Kyogre can just come in here and clutch it if Dragonite can't finish the job. Yeah, we might as well just let Dragonite go down and let the opponent see what my 3rd Pokemon would have been. In comes Kyogre. Good game to that opponent. Keeping things moving here, we have a Dragonite into a Groudon. So this is a really good matchup, as I said, very dominating. They switch into Togekiss. I decide to send in Rhyperior. A few of these decisions might be questionable. I'll admit that I was watching Jujutsu Kaisen while doing these battles, and trying to play Pokemon Go and read subtitles at the same time is super tough. Have any of you guys seen that anime? I'm really loving it. I just got up to the part where Todo and our main character, how bad am I not remembering the main character, they fought that tree curse. You know, the one with like the arm with the rose on the shoulder. I sound so like uninformed, but I'm very new to the show. I've been putting it off for ages. And on the same topic, are you guys watching any shows at the moment? Whether that be anime, live action, whatever. What's your jam? Let me know in the comments. I'm definitely a big anime guy myself. Anyway, Kyogre is now at a Blizzard. I'm hoping this Dialga doesn't shield it. I'd love to land a Blizzard. In comes the Blizzard. That lands because they have no shields. Duh. We switch into Dragonite. We're getting it off this Dragon Claw. This should be eliminating that Dialga to the Shadow Realm. Down goes Dialga. In they come with Groudon. Good game. Keeping things moving along here, we have a Dragonite into a Kyogre. So this is absolutely brilliant. Dragonite is just one of those, it's the perfect Pokemon to pretty much dominate Groudon and Kyogre. It does reasonably well against Rayquaza. It has so many good matchups. It is quite dangerous to run it as a lead in this like fairy kind of centric meta these days. You know, you got the Zacians, the Zacians, the Xerneas. You know, there's lots of fairies running around in the meta, much more than back in the day. Not to mention Togekiss. Anyway, we're in a great position here. Ho-Oh really doesn't have any moves that can do much damage to Rhyperior. We are Shadow. So Shadow Rhyperior actually ranks lower on PvPoke than regular Rhyperior, but I'm finding the Shadow Mudslap damage to be absolutely pure entertainment. It does so much damage, we get to these breaking swipes so quickly. I've been having so much fun with Rhyperior. Do any of you guys have a Rhyperior that you run in the Master League or any of the leagues? I've been hunting for one for literal years. It has been the biggest struggle, the biggest grind. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. You know, Pokemon Pearl was one of my first games bought for me by my grandmother. And obviously Rhyperior was released in the Sinnoh region, so it has a very special place in my heart, and I'm so thankful to get the 100% Shadow Rhyperior. Anyway, in comes the Breaking Swipe. That does a decent chunk to that Dialga. We should be able to farm all the way down. We come out of that matchup with energy. In comes the Rock Wrecker. Finally, we get a Shadow Rock Wrecker landing on a Ho-Oh. That would have taken out about 5 Ho-Ohs. Good game. Keeping things moving here, we have a Dragonite into a Shadow Tyranitar. What you might have noticed also is I haven't really been showing any losses so far. I just kind of been cherry picking the best games. I'm not claiming to be the best Pokemon Go battler in the world. I'm not on the leadership boards. I wouldn't say I'm even that good, to be honest, but I have a lot of fun doing it. I enjoy the grind of grinding up these Master League Pokemon, and I enjoy the video making process. So I'll try and keep getting better, but yeah, tell me if you guys want me to include some more losses. Would you prefer me just do straight sets, or do you kind of prefer a more highlight reel style of video, just showing you the best of Rhyperior? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, Dragonite versus Dragonite. We try and farm all the way down. Unfortunately, that is not possible. We're going to no-shield the Dragon Claw. We want to save shields for Rhyperior. What will they send in next? It's going to be the Tyranitar. We're just going to full send the superpower. This would do some substantial damage to that Rhyperior. I mean, that Tyranitar. Down goes Tyranitar, and now we have a great counter for Dialga in the back. These Mudslaps are absolutely decimating that Dialga. We're going to have to shield the Iron Head. That would definitely eliminate us. One more Mudslap. We'll throw the Breaking Swipe. Hopefully this takes down Dialga. Grabs a shield. Can we get to the second Breaking Swipe? The second Breaking Swipe just clutched the dub. And down goes Dialga. Good game. Trudging into the next match, we have a Dragonite into Giratina. I do like this matchup quite a bit. The Dragon Breaths do a very steady, sturdy, and reliable amount of damage, and we get to these Dragon Claws very quickly. We do need to watch for the Shadow Ball. Giratina just outputs supreme damage. It's such a good Pokemon. I wish I had one, and I especially wish I raided it back when raids were cheap and unlimited. Why are they so expensive? It's like, remote raid passes are unaffordable, and we can only do 5 a day these days. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know, I used to raid pretty consistently, but these days, what's the point? I can do 5 a day. I can barely get to, 298 XLs or whatever you need, and then it costs me an arm and a leg. I got bills to pay. I got to put petrol in my car. I can't afford to be spending $1 trillion on some raid passes. So I definitely regret not raiding all the legendaries when it used to be. It was like $2.50 coins per 3 raid passes in COVID. God, that was heaven, wasn't it? Anyway, I can reminisce, can't I? Anyway, in comes the Shadow Ball. We tank that like an absolute unit. We farm all the way down. In comes Kyogre. Rhyperior saying, you know what, you may dominate me, but take this Rock Wrecker to the face. That does a huge amount of damage onto Kyogre. Now we try and farm down. We're not really threatened. That's certainly not enough energy for a Blizzard. Just the Surf. We absorb that like an absolute unit. I don't know what other word to say. We auto throw the Superpower into the Melmetal. Good game. Heading into the next match, we have Dragonite into a very lovely Shundo Best Buddied Mewtwo. Mewtwo is a pretty tough matchup for this team. Not running a Steel type or a Psychic type does make me a bit more anxious around Mewtwo's, just because I have nothing to catch with and nothing that can just absorb them. So I'm just going to take that onto Dragonite, keep farming away, start throwing these Dragon Claws, and I'm hoping they don't shield, because I just like to get rid of Mewtwo. Just get rid of it, you know? I can handle what's in the back. In comes Dialga. I'm going to throw the Superpower. I'm guessing they're going to respect it with the shield. They shield it. And now we have the perfect counter in the back with our Shadow Rhyperior. They throw in a Giratina. Unfortunately, we don't really have a counter because Kyogre does terribly against Giratina. That Ghost just resists the water. Very unfortunate. So I'm hoping Rhyperior can dominate both Giratina and Dialga. We're at another Breaking Swipe. I didn't quite see if we got the debuff on the first one. Let's see if we get it on the second one. Second time is unfortunately not the charm. We're in a no shield situation for both of us. This Shadow Ball will do a substantial amount of damage. We're going to try and farm all the way down. We successfully farm down. I just throw the Rot Wrecker. I mean, I should have thrown the Breaking Swipe, right? Neutral. That was resisted. Plus, we could have got a debuff, but I'm hoping that big nuke move from a Shadow Rhyperior does enough damage, and then we're able to clutch it with Kyogre. In comes the Thunder. We managed to get to a Surf, so that's huge. Can we win this game? Come on, Kyogre. Not quite. And they'll farm down. Good game to that opponent. Heading into the last few matches of the day, we have Dragonite into a Rhyperior. So this isn't too bad of a matchup. They're running Mudslap. We'd be in a much more precarious position right now if they were running Smackdown. Obviously, Rock doing super effective because of Dragonite's flying typing. They retreat, recognizing they don't have the fast move advantage, sending in Mewtwo, and we do have a fair bit of stored up energy. We're going to stay where we're at. You know, we have Kyogre to handle the Rhyperior in the back. I'm going to expend a few shields because I do want to win Switch here. I don't want to leave that Switch advantage up to them. I just want to get rid of the Mewtwo. Hopefully they send in back Rhyperior. We'll send in Kyogre, and then Bob's your uncle. We're looking pretty. In comes another Dragon Claw that grabs a shield. We're up a shield. We're obviously going to shield here and then try and farm all the way down, coming out of this matchup with energy. And we could even have a Superpower ready to offload onto the Rhyperior. We're just a couple Dragon Breaths away from a Superpower. What will come in? I don't quite remember. It's the Rhyperior. We're going to auto throw the Superpower. This will pretty much KO the Rhyperior. Dragonite has a pretty nutty attack stat. Down goes Rhyperior. We have our own Shadow Hundo Rhyperior in the back, lurking, waiting for Dialga's. It's Dialga's natural enemy, if it has a shield, because the Iron Head is just, If Rhyperior could tank an Iron Head, it did just tank an Iron Head, but as you can see, we just get taken down after that. If it just had a bit more bulk, it'd be brilliant. Good game. Heading into the second last match of the day, we have Dragonite into a Togekiss. Really unfortunate. We retreat into Rhyperior, and unfortunately they have Excadrill. I haven't really looked at the PvP simulations or played this matchup too often, but obviously Excadrill is just super spammy. We're very fortunate to have shields. I do want to protect this Rhyperior. It's a Rhyperior feature after all. They send in Dragonite. We're at 2 Breaking Swipes. Fingers crossed for a debuff. In comes Breaking Swipe number 1. No debuff. We're at 2 more. Come on, give us a debuff. Come on. In comes second Breaking Swipe. We managed to get a debuff. We get to the 3rd Breaking Swipe. My god, it is spammy. In comes the 3rd Breaking Swipe. Does a decent amount of damage. Now they're 2 times debuffed. This will probably be a Dragon Claw and it probably still KOs. It's the Superpower. So now they're 3 stages debuff. They retreat. Kyogre against Togekiss. Can we get to the Surf? We overfarm. I think I was trying to do the timing of like 6 charms so they don't get an extra one. I really should work on my fast move timing. I feel like I have the Pokemon to reach Legend, but I don't have the skill yet. So let me keep grinding. We'll see if we get there. Anyway, Dragonite farms down Kyogre. We should be able to clutch this. No matter what they throw, unless it's a Hurricane, we're going to survive. Just the Dragon Claw. We farm down. good game. Alright guys, we're heading into the last match of the day. Dragonite into Mamoswine, absolute nightmare fuel. Ice is just the kryptonite to Dragonite. So we switch into today's feature, Rhyperior. They send in Dragonite, which is pretty decent. I mean, like, we have Breaking Swipe that does super effective, plus Rock Wrecker. Dragonite is definitely an absolute monster with Dragon Breath. Pretty much anything with Dragon Breath in the Master League is very, very good. There's a reason they're all in like the top, you know, at least 30 on PV Poke. Anyway, down goes Rhyperior. We let him go. Come back in with Dragonite. In comes the Dragon Claw. In this position, we just want to save shields, and then maybe we have a bit of energy to throw right as Mamoswine comes in, and I really didn't want to have much health on Dragonite to allow for a smaller farm down for that Mamoswine. They showed up the superpower. Now we're up 2 shields. They have a Dialga in the back, so you already know what we're going to try and do. We're trying to get to that Blizzard, do some major nuke damage, and hopefully we can clutch it with 2 shields. We'll throw up the shield. It's just going to be the Iron Head. We get to the Blizzard. Blizzard does a decent amount of damage to Dialga. Obviously, it's only neutral, so it's, yeah, takes them down. In comes Mamoswine. Can we clutch it? This is going to be an Avalanche. I'm pretty sure they don't have enough energy to take the win. One more Waterfall. We should survive this Avalanche, and then the Waterfall will register, and then we should win. Yep, good game.